Genesis chapter 1 must be read within the context of the writer of the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, especially chapter 1, has been very misleading because of the modern English translation, particularly Genesis 1:1 in the beginning. And many tend to bring in science, bring in geology, and there are many debates regarding young earth, issues like 6 days, 7 days, etc. But we must read Genesis, the book of Genesis, particularly chapter 1, 2, 3, up to 11, in the context of what the writer of the book of Genesis is referring. The first 5 books of the Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are to be read as a single story, a single continuous narrative, and as a single book. God first identified himself to his people in Exodus 20 verse 2, saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Now, this is a very important concept of creation. God took his people out from chaos to a promised land overflowing with milk and honey. To understand Genesis chapter 1 creation account, we need to have the concept of creation, uncreation, and recreation. In creation, God created everything in order and is functioning and is flourishing, as you can see from the diagram at the top of the mountain. It's a picture, mountains signify a picture of stability, of strength, unshakable. There's security, there's stability. Now, any disruption to this divine order will cause unrest. Chaos will arise, disorder and dysfunctions will increase. And that will cause an exile or an uncreation into the sea. The sea in the Bible represents something that's unstable, chaotic, it is non-ordered, and is not functionable. And God began to create or recreate with a new exodus, taking his creation out from this sea of chaotic, of unstable, of non-functional state. And in the process of recreations, God is establishing order, establishing back the function so that his creation can flourish. So we have to understand the concept of order, disorder, and non-order. Now, for example, you go for a holiday and you just came back home from the airport with your luggage, and you are looking for your toothbrush to brush your teeth, do a wash up, and go back to bed to catch up with your rest. But you realize your toothbrush is not placed in the usual place in your bathroom, it is in your luggage. So the things that you needed, they are in the luggage, and it is in a non-functional state. You need to unpack your luggage and put things back into your proper order, proper place, so that everything is in its proper place, in its proper role, function, and purpose. Then your life get back to order, and you have rest instead of unrest. So that's the meaning of non-order, order, and disorder. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, the earth was without form and void. Now many a time when we study the book of Genesis, and particularly Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created heaven and earth, we tend to question how God created, when it was created, with what did God created. But in verse 2 of Genesis 1, the planet Earth is already created, but it was without form and void, signifying that it is in a non-functional state. And God began to create planet Earth to bring order in order for human life to be sustained to begin.